Hi everyone, it's Nancy Lynn. I'm here today and this is going to be kind of short. I just was going to put something together for the country junk journal, and I decided that I would kind of do it with you guys. And I decided that I was going to make some paper clip things for us to attach so that they're removable. This will be little notebooks, and I chose this was some of the ephemera that I got, and I'll list it at the end. It was a printable digital, and I decided we were going to use that for the cover. This came out of our paper pack that we're using for the country journal, and this was some of the leftovers from the project that we did last. So I decided they were good sizes and that we would try to do these. Now the first thing I'm just going to do is make sure that they're all separated. And these are, some are different sizes. This one's torn a little, but it'll be underneath. This one I cut. I think I'm going to tear it. And I'm going to put that on the front so that it'll just have something pretty there. One of those is a lot longer. Turn that way. There we go. And I'm just going to equal all of those up. I'm going to use a stapler. So now we have our little pad all stapled together, and what I'm going to do is, this is going to be the attachment. I wanted to make sure and I think I'm going to keep with the torn edges. That one didn't like being torn. Alright, and we get rid of all those scraps. I'm just going to fix this little edge down here. And let's make sure this is going to go under here. Now I like the idea that this is kind of layered. That you can see a little bit of that peeking through, and I might just tear this side up just a little. Here we go. Alright, so now we have this, and I'm showing our little papers, and so it's going to kind of cascade down. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to attach a paper clip onto the back part so that we can just have this as a removable item. Something detachable. And we've got all this lined up. And so I know where my paper clip is on here. And I'm going to use my Fabrifix glue because of the fact, even though it's paper on paper, we still have this paper clip in the middle. And so I'm going to use the Fabrifix. And I'm going to try and make sure it gets all over it so it'll hold it real well. And we're going to take our papers, so we got a lot going on here. We've got staples, we've got paper, now these sheets will be good because you can tear them away. They'll be pretty well secured in there so that they can tear them, they can send them, or if they're sending a note to somebody, they could write a note and just ship this off to them. And that's got a really good tack. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. And now we have to put on our top piece, which I'm going to use Aileen's tacky glue for. Got my camera in a new spot today, trying this out, seeing if this works better. Without building a whole apparatus, I'm trying to figure a way to do this without having to build something or attach something to my ceiling. Alright, now I see one spot that's a little taller. And this says Hughes Goldfinch brand. Some of you guys may know it. I have never heard of it before. This is a nice pack of ephemera. It had all kinds of apothecary stuff on it. It says Modena Highlands, Orange, California. And I guess they're selling goldfinch oranges? Never heard of them. Alright, and so now we have our little book. We have the paper clip on here. And so if you have a page, now all you're going to have to do is just hook it on there and it will stay. So that's the first one, and we're going to let that dry. Now the second one, I had some little smaller paper, so I decided that I would work with it. Make sure everything fits together. I've got some white paper showing here, and I think something didn't get flipped. There we go. I've tried to put quite a few sheets in here. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 sheets of paper in here, so that's a good size little, detachable. Now this card that I found is also from that same apothecary set. Extract, concentrate. It is, looks like it's maybe in French. And fleur, so fleur is flower, so I believe. And so with this one, I need to do a paper clip. And these are 2-inch paper clips. I just got some in that are jumbos. They are 4-inch. So I'm gonna have to figure out something to do with the 4-inch paper clips. Now I like to put the smaller side in, and that way it has more to grab in the back. I think I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to staple the far end. And I'm going to glue this on here and then staple again. No. Yeah, and I'll staple it from this side. Sure, we got plenty of clearance up here. Go back to our Fabrifix. Make sure there's plenty around that. Really, that one piece of paper is the one that I'm really worried about holding the paper clip on. And then I'm going to reverse this. And I'm going to staple it right there. And then that way the rough side is coming through, but it'll be covered by the front page. And now we're going to put our cover on. And I'm just making sure that it's got enough to cover this way and this way. Oh, and I'm using a diaper wipe to wipe with. And I think I'm going to try clamping it right there with the little bulldog clamp. See how that holds it. I'm going to put another one right below it. And we'll see how that one clamps, and we'll let that one dry. Now the third one was just long skinny pieces that I had. This that I'm using for the cover is a tag, and it's made out of the burlap material from that package of papers, and I have sewn the two patches on to give them more stability because it's burlap on burlap. So I knew that it's strong, it ain't going nowhere, but I wanted to make sure that it had that. Now with these, I'm gonna have to trim the tops to match this because it's sticking out on the side. So I am with this one going to put a staple right in the center to hold everything in place. Then I'm going to trim. And trim. So now we have our papers to match our, and it looks pretty good. And then we have this page here, and I like the three-fold on these. And we're going to use our paper clip. Small side in. As you can see, I'm going to have to trim that up a little bit on the back so it's not quite flat, and I want to make sure I've got enough room for the paper to hold the paper clip. So that's where I'm going to need it at. Once again, we'll use our Fabrifix. I want plenty of it around that paper clip to really hold it down. And I'm getting some around the back. Make sure this is kind of even in there, and then hold it down. Now while I've been sitting here holding it, I've shifted it. But you've got a little bit of time to work with that Fabrifix. And that's getting where it's holding. And now this one on top of it, I don't know that I'm going to trust the glue. I'm going to try it, but what we may end up doing is putting a grommet or something in there to hold it. Guess I can put a little more. I want to centerize this. And I'm going to take my clamps off of here and add them onto this so that that one can dry. I'll go back and check. This one. Check our clip. Yeah, that's pretty solid in there. That's not going anywhere. And we can trim up this side just a little bit. And so that one's ready to clip on. So now we have the two of these. And so now we need to go and decorate them up a little bit. Found some words. And this says treasure today. And of course we've got to ink everything. Put it there. Could put it there. And a little flower. I'm going to have to clip the back of it off to make it lay flatter. Let's do that first. There's a little nubby back there. And we could put that there. I think I like that. I'm going to use Fabrifix for this, so we might as well. Treasure today, is that not the truth? We are in such a weird time. Now we're going to hold this so that it sticks. I'm going to have to put a little bit more on the second row. Trying to make it as flat as possible, but still have it look like a flower. Oh, the little yellow piece came out now. We'll fix that. And still think it needs a little something. So we'll use some liquid pearls. This is an up-down motion. Maybe we'll put a little bit around to highlight our word area. Some days I just can't talk. And where that came out, let's put us a little piece there. And now these are wet, so we'll be careful of them. But there you go. Here is our first one. Now this one here, let's make sure it's all holding nice and well. And it is. And its paper clip looks good. Cover your ink. Are y'all screaming at me? Cover your ink. Cover it. Now, what can we do to dress this one up? I've got a couple more little sentences here. Make the days count. Let's get down here so we can see it. Yeah, I like it in that spot. But where else could we add it? Gets kind of lost. Nope, I think that's the best spot. Back to our ink again. Hoping everyone's doing well and is healthy out there. Staying home. Protecting ourselves. And making the days count. Now let's see, what else could we add to this? And add to the other one. Have some little flowers here. I have a couple little purple ones to leave. I'm just cutting off the stem areas so that they won't protrude so badly. And hope it doesn't fall apart. But if it does, we have glue. We can always glue it together. Alright, and we're going to go use some of our Fabrifix. It's hard to see. These are tiny, tiny. I don't know what kind of flowers these are, but they're pretty. See that wire that's sticking up out of it, I'm going to bend it over. So number one, it might hold it, and number two, it'll lay flatter. In sewing, we have a spray called Flatter, and it's for when you iron. It's supposed to flatten your fabric more.